would be, how do your marketing efforts work in creating a total customer experience? And what are the learnings trying to build this?
Customer experience. One of the things that we've done recently is we've launched a loyalty program, which is, really wow. It's not new, of course, but it allows us to do that, to develop an ongoing relationship. Also provides us with some of the data that we need and allows us to further that one-to-one opportunity, because if we know what you're buying and when you're buying, we can kill our communications better. It's one of the things that we've done. One of the things that we also did was we created an app which allows you to boast online. So we call it the Fab Finder. So when you find that fantastic pair of shoes or that brilliant handbag, you can post it online, tell us where you bought it, how much you paid for it, and what the suggested retail price was for it. But the benefit to you is bragging rights, but the benefit to the rest of the audience is now I can go online and look for shoes at Winners, and I can cascade through all the Fab Finds that are not only available across the country, but I can sort by store. So at the store closest to me, what are the Fab Finds closest to my store? So that's part of the way that we've used the technology to create the advocacy. And again, it's really, I really think it was there anyway, but it was really happening at the water cooler, and now we've just enabled it to a much broader audience. Thanks.
Some of the principles of, dare I call it, old marketing versus new marketing are still very much the same. We're trying to build customers for life, I guess, would be an objective. And we're trying to get that customer relationship, and we're trying also to present a very consistent view of the brand to our customers. And in 20 years ago, it was in television, it was in radio, it was in newspapers, it was sales promotion, it was on the shelf. Simplistically, but it was fairly easy. Now there are so many different touch points, and there are so many people who interact with those touch points. I mean, how many people, just let me look at IBM, how many people on IBM are out there on LinkedIn and on Facebook representing IBM? So there has to be a consistent brand experience for the customer. Does it look like, does it think like, does it sound like, does it perform like the brand I expect in every single touch point that I have? And that brings that level of consistency to the brand and the ability to begin to form that long-term relationship. The brand itself ultimately has to perform. The product or service has to perform, but let's take that for granted.
Hey, David.
I like Graham's comment about all the people involved. There's still a human element to the holistic brand, and maybe more than ever. And I'm biased when I talk about this from a retail point of view, but retail has such a big labor force, and let's say, how many staff?
17,000.
Okay, so they're probably talking about Winners and HomeSense somewhere, and more that's online. But how do you influence them to be brand savvy about your message, and also be brand ambassadors and be pro your company? So I think that's one point. And the other very quick one is traditional research is probably more valid than ever, because the more we learn from our data, the more we uncover what we don't know and what are the whys and wherefores.
Yeah, that's where in the study very clearly the CMOs responded to us when we asked them, is your brand characters understood in the marketplace? A fair number thought that was the case, but then when we ask, is there still some work to do for your brand corporate character to be understood by the employees of your company? And the answer was, oh, definitely. 2/3 felt there was a lot of work to do for the employees to be on board. And that's so important that the employees are on board, because they cannot dissociate themselves from their job. What are they going to tell home? What are they going to tell on the social media? And that's where this is certainly a piece of work that each company has to work upon, looking at what is associated to our own brand, how is it understood, and how is everybody talking about it, so that there's one image associated, and it's the one that the company would want to get, assuming it's true. Right? That's the other aspect. You can't fake it anymore. It has to be deeply anchored in the company.
It's interesting because my title is General Manager of Marketing and Training. So actually training reports into my function. What happened is one of the objectives within my organization, as we looked at becoming more brand focused rather than just product and sales, was how do we get the employee to understand what we are trying to do from a brand standpoint? Because if they don't understand, then the sales people on the floor won't understand it. And so it was, we developed program, whether it's e-learning, whether it's a module to teach about brand, we did that to the sales force so they could understand how each brand was positioned differently, how you should sell it differently to the retailer. And we did the same exercise with the retailers because we are in a situation where when you buy appliances, you don't buy it from, you don't pick it on shelf. You have someone on the floor which is going to sell it to you. If that person doesn't understand how each brand is distinct, it becomes just product. It just becomes just price. So it's really critical to educate and to explain what the brand is about, as well as how product benefit and product feature relate to your brand. And that's how we win the battle now. We talk about the zero moment of truth. We call it the win at the moment of truth as far as on the floor.